The wind moved like a whispering tide across the polar plain, carrying no warmth, no scent, only the hush of a world untouched. Dr. Maravos pressed her hand to the cold metal railing of the outpost deck and stared at the horizon, where night met white in a seamless fold. Below, the radar hummed softly, a gentle heartbeat in the silence. Then the rhythm changed. Jonas' voice crackled through the intercom. "Mara, you should see this." The screen flickered, showing a shape beneath the ice, miles wide, slowly rising. Not drifting, not static. She leaned closer, breath clouding the glass, pulse steady but slow. Outside, the aurora shimmered faintly above the dark crests of the snow. And beneath it all, something ancient began to move. What if time remembered what we tried to forget? Inside the control room, the air felt charged, as if the static itself carried meaning. Jonas adjusted the frequency, his lips moving without sound. "It's deeper than the last reading," he whispered. Mara leaned beside him, eyes tracing the green pulse sliding across the radar grid like a heartbeat out of rhythm. "Could be a shelf collapse," Rourke offered, though his voice lacked conviction. The hum grew steadier, almost musical. Anya's camera clicked softly, each frame catching their unease. Outside, snow shifted under unseen motion, waves of light gliding beneath the surface. Mara felt a low vibration travel through the floor into her bones. "That's not ice moving," she murmured. Jonas turned toward her, face pale. "Then what is it?" The team gathered near the main window, where faint ripples shimmered beneath the ice field beyond the floodlights. The sound, low, resonant, and strangely even, rolled through the bass like a hidden voice. Mara pressed a recorder to the glass, capturing the tone. "It's patterned," she said softly. Jonas frowned, running calculations. "Too regular to be seismic, almost like communication." Rourke shifted uneasily. "The ice doesn't talk." Anya steadied her camera, lens fogging with breath, whispering, "Maybe it remembers." The words hung in the cold, like something sacred, as a faint, luminescent thread appeared far out on the horizon, pulsing once, twice, then vanishing beneath the snow. The base lights dimmed without warning. A deep hum coursed through the wiring, flickering the monitors. Jonas rushed to the control panel, tapping switches that refused to respond. "Power's fine. It's just something else is drawing it." Mara steadied herself against the table as a tremor rolled beneath them. Outside, the snowfield rippled, slowly, like breath under a blanket. The hum modulated again, softer now, almost tender. "It's sensing," Mara whispered, her pulse aligning with its rhythm. Anya lowered her camera, the red record light glowing faintly in the dark. "It feels like it's listening." Rourke stepped forward, his voice low, or calling. Silence returned, absolute and heavy. Then, through the stillness, a fracture echoed outside, sharp and hollow. The team rushed to the observation deck. A crack traced across the distant glacier, spreading outward in slow motion, releasing faint plumes of frost into the polar air. From its depths, a dim glow pulsed upward like a heartbeat buried in the ice. Jonas exhaled shakily. "It's not supposed to be that deep," Mara whispered. "Nothing living should be." The glow expanded, warm against the endless cold, and for a fleeting moment, it felt less like light, and more like memory surfacing after centuries after centuries. Sleep. What? Morning came in gray silence, though the sun never truly rose here. Only a shifting pall of cloud and light. The crack had widened overnight. What once seemed like a fracture now gaped like a doorway. Mara led the team toward it, each step crunching through brittle snow. The hum beneath the ice was gone, but something deeper, something rhythmic remained. Pressure readings are off the scale, Jonas muttered, scanning his handheld monitor. Anya filmed in near reverence, breath fogging the lens. At the edge, Mara knelt and placed a gloved hand against the glowing wall of ice. The light pulsed faintly beneath her palm, warm and alive. "It's responding," she whispered. Rourke stared down into the fissure. "Then the question is, to what?" The descent began under a haze of snow and faint aurora light. Rourke anchored the winch system while Mara and Jonas clipped into harnesses. The air thinned as they lowered themselves, ropes creaking against the frozen edge. "Keep comms open." Rourke's voice crackled over the headset. "Copy," Mara replied, eyes scanning the widening walls around them. Strange filaments glowed faintly inside the ice, like veins lit from within. Anya filmed from above, the wind whipping her coat. The sound that followed was faint yet distinct, a single low tone rising from the deep, almost melodic. Jonas froze mid-descent. "You hear that?" he breathed. Mara nodded, eyes wide. "It's singing." Halfway down, the ice turned translucent, shadows moving faintly behind it, as though something swam within. Mara steadied herself, fingers trembling around the rope. "Jonas, slow," she whispered. The shapes drifted closer, graceful, slow, like echoes of movement rather than bodies. "Thermal readings?" she asked. "Nothing. It's colder here than the surface, yet the glow grew stronger, illuminating them in pale gold." One shape paused beside Mara's suspended form, and for a fleeting second she felt a warmth behind the wall, like the press of a pulse against her own. She exhaled, awe and fear tangled in her breath. "It's aware of us!" The cavern opened without warning, a vast chamber beneath the glacier, walls rippling with soft amber light. Their boots sank into frost dust as they unclipped from the ropes. Above them, the crack shimmered like a frozen sky. In the center stood a formation of crystal unlike any ice they'd seen. Smooth, curved, hollow at its core. It pulsed faintly, in rhythm with the earlier hum. "It's hollow," Jonas said. Or it was. Mara stepped closer, drawn by something beyond logic. "This isn't geology," she murmured. "It's architecture." Rourke's voice echoed faintly over comms. "Say again." But Mara didn't reply. She was listening. The pulse had changed. It was breathing. Jonas circled the formation, his breath trembling in the thin air. It's registering electromagnetic output, steady, low frequency. Mara placed a small sensor on the surface. It pulsed once in response, then every device in the cavern flickered. Static whispered through their headsets, then a sound, soft, layered, like 1,000 voices speaking just beneath the threshold of hearing. Anya leaned forward with her camera, whispering, "It's language." The light expanded, washing over the cavern walls, revealing etched markings, spirals, eyes, and lines like constellations. Mara looked up, her face glowing gold. "We're standing in a memory," she said, "and it just woke up for hours." The glow inside the cavern breathed in quiet rhythm, neither brighter nor dimmer, as if waiting. Mara sat near the crystal structure, notebook open. The words failed to capture what she felt. A presence beyond sound. Jonas checked his instruments again. "It's modulating," he said softly, not random anymore. The hum shifted to distinct tones, low to high, weaving through the cold air like a choir without source. Then came the whisper, not in their ears, but inside their minds. A single word, gentle yet vast. "Mara." She froze. "Mara," she froze. Jonas looked up sharply. "It said your name." Mara's heart raced, not in fear but recognition. She whispered back, "Who are you?" The light trembled in answer. Jonas recorded the tones, translating their rhythm into visual data. The waveform resembled a pulse, but with repeating intervals, intentional, patterned. "It's trying to speak," he said. Mara touched the glowing ice again, and this time the pulse matched her heartbeat perfectly. Anya's voice trembled from behind the camera. "It knows her." Rourke's voice cut in through static. "What do you mean, knows?" But even he heard it then, the whisper shifting through frequencies, forming words that seemed to bloom from the cold itself. "You left us in the dark," it murmured. The team stood frozen. Mara whispered, almost reverently, "It remembers us." The whispers grew clearer, fragments weaving into sentences no human tongue had shaped. Each word resonated through bone, not air. Jonas stumbled back, shaking his head. "It's not speech, it's resonance. It's inside us." Mara closed her eyes, letting the vibration flood through her. For a moment, she saw memories not her own. Oceans boiling, skies filled with ash, and beings of light descending into ice to sleep. She gasped, falling to her knees. "They were here before us," she said faintly, waiting for the world to heal. Anya stepped closer, lowering the camera. "And now we've woken them." The glow dimmed once, like an exhale, as if in quiet agreement. Rourke descended into the cavern at last, rope swinging behind him. His boots struck the frost with a dull echo. "We're shutting this down," he said firmly, though his voice quivered at the edges. "You don't shut down something alive," Mara replied, rising to face him. The glow flared, throwing long shadows across the ice. The hum deepened, rolling like thunder through the chamber. Rourke stumbled, clutching his radio. "It's affecting the comms," Jonas called, but Mara barely heard. The sound wasn't threatening. It was sorrowful, like mourning sung through centuries. "It's afraid," she whispered. "It's been alone too long." The crystal's core began to shift, its light swirling into shapes, patterns resembling constellations. "It's showing us something," Jonas whispered. The air thickened with warmth. A figure took form within the light, neither human nor creature. Fluid, luminous, with eyes like stars beneath water. It spoke without sound, and yet every mind heard. "We remember you." Anya lowered her camera, tears freezing on her lashes. Rourke's hand dropped from his weapon. Mara stepped forward, the hum vibrating through her chest. "Then, remember gently," she said. The being tilted its head, light cascading across the cavern, and with a sound like wind breathing through eternity, it smiled. The light within the being flickered once, then expanded through the chamber like the breath of a storm. Every wall, every frozen ripple of ice became translucent. Images poured through them. Oceans boiling under a crimson sky, mountains dissolving into ash. The team stood silent, surrounded by moving memory. Mara reached out, her fingers trembling as the visions passed over her skin like waves. "It's showing us its extinction," she whispered. Jonas recorded the readings, his voice shaking. "The radiation levels. It's mimicking solar collapse." Rourke clenched his jaw. "You're saying this happened here?" The being turned toward him, eyes luminous with sorrow. "Everywhere," it answered inside their minds. The vision shifted again, to stillness. Endless fields of ice, lifeless and pure, as if the world had wrapped itself in white to hide its wounds. The being's voice hummed through their bones. "We slept to keep memory from dying." Mara felt tears sting her eyes beneath her goggles. "You buried yourselves," she whispered, "to protect the world from us." Jonas frowned. "From you?" The glow dimmed. "It's guilt." Mara said softly, "They caused it." The images flared again. Machines of light rising from seas, storms of ash, consuming them. Then the ice returned. Silence swallowed the cavern once more, heavy as remorse. Anya lowered her camera and looked around, whispering, "It's trying to tell us something more." The air trembled. Faint silhouettes appeared around the being, others like it, frozen in the surrounding ice, faces serene. Jonas moved closer, scanning one of the entombed figures. "They're real," he said, voice breaking. "There must be hundreds." Mara gazed upward, where the ice glowed with star-like pinpoints. "Not a tomb," she said. "A sanctuary." The being turned slowly toward her, its light softening. "We dreamed until the world would listen again." Rourke looked at Mara, voice hushed. "And now we have." The being stepped closer to Mara, its form shifting with each pulse. "Why show us this?" she whispered. "Because you repeat us," came the reply. Images erupted again, rising cities, drilling machines, smoke curling through melting ice. The scenes mirrored their own world. Jonas turned away, muttering, "It's showing us now." Rourke's hand trembled at his side. "It's warning us," Mara said. The cavern trembled faintly, snow dust falling from above. "Then what happens if we don't listen?" Anya asked. The light around them flickered once, then flashed brilliant white. The walls vanished into the illusion of an ocean, rising fast. The vision ceased. The cavern returned to quiet glow, though the air still vibrated with unspoken truth. Mara's voice broke the silence. "You showed us the end. Yours and ours." "Why?" The being's form dimmed to a fragile shimmer. "Because memory must be carried forward." Its light flowed outward, touching each of them gently before retreating back into the crystal. The carvings on the walls glowed once more, now forming unfamiliar symbols, a pattern like a map. Jonas stared. "Coordinates?" Rourke exhaled slowly. "Or instructions?" The glow subsided completely, leaving only the faint hum of something waiting to be understood. The storm outside had sealed the fissure overnight, trapping them within the cavern. But none of them wanted to leave yet, not until they understood. Jonas projected the carvings onto a screen, tracing their alignment. "These aren't random," he said. "They mark latitudes, multiple locations across the globe." Mara studied the shimmering lines, fingertips brushing the cold wall. "If this was a sanctuary," she murmured, "then there are others." Anya whispered, "Other beings." Rourke leaned closer to the map, the golden reflections glinting in his eyes. "Or other warnings." Above them, the faint hum returned, steady and patient, like the slow heartbeat of something vast beneath the world. Jonas overlaid the carvings with satellite data from their expedition files. Slowly, a pattern emerged, points aligned along tectonic boundaries and old impact sites. "These are impossible," he said, voice unsteady. "One's under the Indian Ocean. Another beneath Greenland." Rourke's brow furrowed. "And that one?" Mara pointed to the largest marking at the pole's center. "That's us." A sudden tremor rippled through the ice, scattering frost from the ceiling. The crystal pulsed once, dim and slow. Anya steadied her camera. "It's reacting." Mara's voice softened. "It wants us to see more, but it can't show us from here." The hum deepened, low and sorrowful. Hours passed as they decoded the remaining symbols. Each one carried a faint tonal resonance, notes that, when played in sequence, formed the same melody the being had used to speak. Mara recorded it, replaying the tones softly through her headset. The crystal answered, pulsing in perfect rhythm. "It's a code," Jonas said. "A map built on sound." Rourke muttered. "So it sings directions now?" Mara smiled faintly. "Maybe it always did. We just forgot how to listen." Anya's voice trembled. "What if they're not coordinates at all? What if it's a key?" The cavern lights dimmed to near darkness. the pulse now echoing through their chests like a heartbeat shared among them. The storm above began to ease, the faint rumble of wind filtering through cracks high in the shaft. "We can climb out soon," Rourke said. But Mara lingered, eyes fixed on the carvings. "We can't leave this sealed again," she whispered. Jonas met her gaze. "Then we bring it back." Anya nodded, steadying her camera on the golden map. "The world has to see this." Rourke sighed, rubbing a gloved hand over his face. "You realize what happens when we tell them. They'll dig it up, tear it apart." Mara's voice softened but firmed. "Maybe that's the point. Maybe it wants to be found." They emerged hours later into the still dawn of the Antarctic plain. The storm had cleared, leaving the world silent and clean. Behind them, the fissure gleamed faintly, a seam of gold beneath endless white. Jonas carried the hard drives close to his chest, as though they contained something fragile and alive. Rourke scanned the horizon, muttering, "No one's going to believe this." Mara turned to look back once more. Beneath her boots, the snow hummed faintly, a pulse too soft to be wind. She smiled gently, her voice barely a whisper. "It's still listening, far below, deep under the ice." A faint light stirred once more. 3 weeks later, the first transmission arrived. Jonas found it buried in a satellite data feed, an identical signal pattern to the one beneath the ice, pulsing from deep under the Pacific. "It's waking up somewhere else," he said, voice tight with wonder. Mara stood beside him, gaze fixed on the monitor's slow rhythm. "No," she whispered. Everywhere, on another screen, faint signals bloomed across the globe. Greenland, the Andes, the Arctic rim. Anya's hands trembled as she adjusted her camera. "They're answering each other." Rourke exhaled heavily, jaw set. "Then it's not just memory anymore." Outside, the wind howled like a voice, learning how to breathe. Mara ran her finger along the glowing lines on the map. These sites matched the coordinates from the carvings. They were dormant until we activated the tone. Jonas leaned forward. "So the melody. It's a key that resonates across the world," Anya whispered. "We unlocked all of them." Rourke stared out through the narrow window, watching a distant shimmer across the ice. "Then what happens next?" The hum beneath their feet returned, steady and low. Mara smiled faintly. Now they remember each other. The lights on the monitors synchronized, one global heartbeat glowing through the cold. Outside, the aurora flared in gold. By nightfall, the hum became a tone audible to every device in the outpost. Radios, sensors, even the wind turbines began vibrating in tune. Anya filmed everything, her breath catching as the snow outside rose in spirals from unseen motion. Jonas muttered, "The frequency. It's stabilizing the magnetic field around the base." Mara's eyes widened. "It's protecting itself." Rourke stepped closer to the window as pale light rippled through the sky. "Or preparing," he said quietly. Then, for a single instant, all sound vanished. The next heartbeat came with a deep, resonant chord, so pure it felt like silence made visible. The world began to notice. Broadcasts filled with static carried the same rhythm Mara had heard beneath the ice. Ships in the Indian Ocean reported glowing water at night. Satellites detected unknown heat signatures beneath the Greenland ice shelf. Mara watched the data scroll endlessly. "It's spreading," she said. Jonas replied softly, "No, it's awakening." Anya's phone picked up faint whispers through its speaker, like distant waves forming words. "They're speaking again," she breathed. Rourke turned sharply. "To who?" The answer came not in sound but in pulse. One long vibration through the earth that made every light flicker once, like the world taking a breath. That night, Mara dreamed of light. She saw the world from above. A network of golden rivers flowing through ice, ocean, and stone, connecting every corner of the planet. Voices rose within it, not in chaos but harmony, like a choir remembering its own song. She awoke with tears on her face and whispered into the dark, They're not waking to destroy, they're waking to remember us. The hum beneath the floor grew softer, warmer, until it sounded almost like a lullaby. Outside, dawn touched the ice with pale fire, and the horizon pulsed faintly. Alive, the aurora stretched across the sky in brilliant gold, green and violet, wrapping the Antarctic plain in light that seemed alive. Mara stood at the edge of the outpost, eyes tracing the faint pulses beneath the snow. Jonas joined her, holding the data drives close. "It's all connected now," he whispered. "Every signal, every sight." Mara exhaled slowly, the cold wind brushing her face. "And it wants a response." Anya filmed silently, breath fogging the lens. Rourke's voice came low from behind them. "What kind of response?" Mara's gaze never left the horizon. "One that tells it we understand." The aurora pulsed brighter as if listening. The team gathered in the control room, instruments and monitors glowing softly in anticipation. Jonas aligned the harmonic frequencies from all the awakened sites. Mara held the central microphone, her gloved hand trembling. "We have one chance," she murmured. The cavern's memory pulsed through the signals, a voice threading between every frequency. "Will you hear us?" It was not a question spoken aloud. It resonated inside their minds, urging recognition. Rourke swallowed hard. "We hear you," Mara whispered back, voice carrying both fear and hope. The monitors shimmered as one, a single pulse spreading across the screens like dawn breaking. "Why sir isn't in lifestyle?" A wave of warmth swept through the outpost. The aurora outside shivered, stretching into shapes that seemed to watch, to understand. Jonas looked at Mara. "It's answering us back." The pulse coalesced into a golden beam beneath the ice, lifting faint clouds of frost into spiraling patterns. Anya's camera caught every moment. The ice seemed to breathe, the snow flowing like liquid gold. "It's alive," Rourke said, voice barely audible. Mara nodded, feeling every heartbeat resonate within her chest. "And it remembers us," she said. The hum became a song, a network of light across the world, waiting for the world to join it. The signals reached beyond the poles, stretching invisibly across oceans and mountains. Mara felt it in her chest, the pulse echoing across the globe, vibrating in sync with their own hearts. "It's a network of memory," she whispered. Jonas' voice trembled. "It's waiting for humanity to respond." The aurora intensified, coiling into arcs above the outpost, like fingers reaching skyward. Anya lowered her camera, mesmerized. "It wants us to remember," she said. Rourke's voice was quiet, almost reverent. "Then maybe we finally can." The snow beneath their boots hummed gently, as if the world itself was breathing with them. As dawn stretched across the Antarctic horizon, the light from the ice merged with the aurora, brighter than either alone. Mara breathed deeply, feeling the heartbeat of a world awakened. Jonas whispered, "We are part of it now." Anya's camera captured the final pulse, spiraling upward, a single golden thread connecting earth and sky. Rourke stood quietly, understanding at last. Mara smiled faintly, whispering, "It's not the end. It's just the beginning." Beneath the ice, countless lights stirred in resonance, awaiting the world to listen and remember. The polar wind sang a soft, eternal lullaby, carrying hope across the silent, frozen expanse.